So this this is the third time I'm trying to go live. If you could hear me, put yes in the comments now. There were technical difficulties. Let me know if you could hear me before I start the presentation. Let me know if you could hear me before I start the presentation. We try to go live 3 times. There's something wrong with the sound. Start the presentation. Okay, yeah, now it's working. All right, so third time is a charm. But yeah, this presentation is really for the coaches and consultants out there. It's called Get Out of the Coaching or Consulting Cage. I'm going to start the presentation now. That's why I really needed everyone to be able to hear me. So I'm going to start it now. And what this really is a way for coaches. I speak with a lot of coaches, life coaches, mindset coaches, business coaches, more for entrepreneurs, executive coaches. And the one recurring theme is that the more one-on-one coaching they do, the faster they get burned out. And a lot of coaches come to me when they're already at the point of burnout. So they're seeing a lot of one-to-one clients, but they have a high churn rate, and it's hard to keep up, and they're feeling exhausted. And obviously, when you are a coach, you need to be at optimal energy. If not, the coaching that you provide your clients is going to be greatly affected. So let's go. So before we even begin, I really want you to understand that being rich is having a lot of money, right? So being rich is having a lot of money. Now that amount of money, you may feel rich at a different level than me, or a much higher level. It's kind of relative. But wealth is having not just money, but also time. So it's having a lot of money. Plus, it's having a lot of time to be able to do what you want with whoever you want, where you want, whenever you want, right? And so, what happens with a lot of coaches and consultants is that they can become rich and they're making, good money or absolutely excellent money if they're high ticket, but they are time poor. So they may be money rich but time poor, or they may be money poor and time poor if they're not necessarily charging what they're worth or have not yet produced the results to be able to charge that. And the most common types of coaching business models are really one-on-one and group coaching. Now, there are others, but these are really the main two that people come to me and they seek help with. So today, we're not going to tackle group coaching. We're going to talk about one-on-one coaching and how to get out of that one-on-one coaching age. So on average, there are different levels of life, mindset, and business coaches. But on average, per the data that's out there, business coaches tend to charge between $175 and $250 per hour. So we're just going to take this average and run with for the examples that I have, outlined in this presentation. And in the beginning, you may look at $250 an hour and you may think like, wow, that's, if I have four clients a day, that's $1,000 a day. And that's $20,000 a month if I'm working 5 days a week. Now, in the beginning, that may seem like a lot of money, but what you're not looking at is becoming time poor. So in the beginning, like this says, this may seem like a great business model, but it has serious limits. And that's what I'm going to show you today. Most coaches, that I talk to that come to me when they're already burned out, it's rare that I've seen that they can handle, like for a long time, more than 4 one-on-one 1 hour coaching Zooms or calls per day. Like that requires a lot of energy to provide the best results for your clients. And that's usually they're back to back, or maybe they have 30 minutes or an hour in between. And your coaching calls may start at 9. By the time you finish seeing all of your clients, it's already 3, 4. The kids may start getting home, your partner may be home, And then you don't really have time to work on your business because you're constantly reacting and working in your business. So if we take this scenario, that means that if you're seeing 4 one-on-one 1-hour coaching clients a day for about 5 days a week, you're doing 20 hours of one-on-one coaching per week. Now, if you look at what this looks like per day, like I said, it's 4 clients at an hour. Let's say you charge on the upper end of the average, right? $250 an hour. That's $1,000 per day. And then 5 days a week, that's $5,000 a week. And again, you may look at that and think that that's impressive, but you're not really looking at the full picture. So although this looks like a big number to most people, I urge you to think bigger because number one, even the busiest coaches that I've spoken to and that really reach out to me for help when they're burnt out, they get seriously burnt out from a book schedule over several months, right? And when they do, like I said, it starts to affect the transformations, the energy, the guidance that they could really give to their clients. So it starts to affect the results that their clients are getting. Number one, it also starts to affect the joy that they originally had when they began coaching. So a lot of coaches, they're super excited to be a coach. They really love what they do. They love seeing people get results. But because they're constantly in this one-on-one cage, they start to enjoy what they used to love a lot less, right? So I've seen it happen over and over again. And that's a very dangerous place to be in because you want to thoroughly enjoy what you do every single day in your business. And then the second kind of huge limit to this, right, is that I'm seeing that so many coaches set up their business model to have such a high churn rate, which means that they set up their business model to where a client comes to them to solve a problem, to get over a trauma, to change their mindset, whatever. And it's really on a short-term basis, which means that once they effectively help that client overcome that obstacle or get the transformation that they want, it's kind of like they just let the clients go back into the universe and like let them go. Like there's no continuity model to a lot of the coaching businesses that I'm seeing. And this leads to always having to find, your next client, your next client, your next client. There's no continuity where like this is truly going to become a lifetime client or, on average, we see our clients for 10 months or 12 months because the churn is so much smaller. So I'm seeing like 1, 2, 3 months where like they have to immediately replace that session with another client. And again, all of this leads to burnout and doesn't really lead to an effective business model. So one-on-one coaching is really exchanging money for time. If you think about it, that's really what you're doing, time for money rather. So you're giving your time for an hour and you're getting paid for that hour and the transformations that you could provide in that hour. And there's really only one of you. And unless you're immortal, which is pretty cool if you are immortal, but I'm not immortal and everyone that I've ever met is not immortal. So because of that, what we have is a limited amount of time, 24 hours every single day. Obviously, you have to eat, you have to sleep, you have to spend time with family. So realistically, you're looking at 8 to 10 hours in a business day. And like I said, if you have 4 clients booked every day, that's a lot of preparation, a lot of energy. Sometimes the clients aren't back to back and they're spaced out an hour apart, whatever, and your day's already gone. So you have a limited amount of time. You have a limited number of clients that you can help because of that limited amount of time. And then also because of that limit, you have a limited amount of revenue that you can make. So I just want to kind of urge the coaches out there that are feeling a little burnt out to try to think bigger. To scale a coaching business, you have 2 options. You can, number one, you can hire and train other coaches and put them in a position where they can duplicate the transformation. They can duplicate your process, right? You create a process, you put systems into place, you train them after hiring them, and you kind of guide them into duplicating the results that you're providing your clients. Obviously, that takes money, that takes time and training, that takes energy. And a lot of coaches, they're so booked, right? They're in this one-on-one cage that they don't really have time to see if someone's a great hire, let alone train them, let alone even create a process and a system for the training to be effective, let alone kind of guide them through seeing and delivering the same results, right? But if you are in a back-to-back, one-on-one meetings, like I'm saying, and you don't have a lot of white space in your calendar, it's kind of impossible to work on your business to make this happen. Because like I said, there's not enough white space in your calendar, and there's not enough time in one day. It takes the right strategy to add the right person to your team. It takes time, energy, resources to train them correctly and to guide them through producing similar or exact results as you would for your clients. It also takes a lot of time and energy, which most coaches do not have, like I just mentioned. The second option, and the more reasonable option for many coaches, is to productize the unique transformation that they are providing their clients. So, the first step in doing this is identifying your most scalable and high demand skill set. There's a process for identifying this, but a lot of coaches are also misguided as to what their most high value, high demand skill set is. I would say not to quickly assume that it's one thing. I would say to talk to your clients and really have them list the value, right? The tangible and intangible value that they've received from your coaching. And then from there, you can see what's most high demand and also what is most scalable. Again, there's a process just to identify this. The second thing is you break down your proprietary process and replicate it by creating a transformational digital experience via a digital product that you can create once and sell over and over and over again, not just in your language, but in markets as well. Again, this is something that, if done correctly, can be very, 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 very profitable. But if done incorrectly, it's just going to be another course, another ebook, another membership that people buy, and they don't get the results that they originally thought that they were going to get. So productizing your most valuable and scalable service or skill set is, I believe, where most coaches can really scale their business. But again, it has to be done correctly. Your online business, like, it's not just about a course, right? It's truly about creating a digital and transformational experience without you having to constantly be there. How can you design? How can you become an architect where you create an experience digitally as if you were there for people, right? You could reach more people, you could reach people in different markets, right? But you are actually not there, right? This you need a blueprint to do this, and you kind of need someone that has already done it that can guide you. But if you do it correctly, it could completely transform your business. So rich, like I said, is about having money. Yes, it's possible to get rich with coaching, especially if you do high ticket, but at what cost? If you don't have time to actually enjoy life with your partner, with your children, with the people that you love the most, if you don't actually have time to, treat yourself, to go on vacation, to just rest. I mean, you never want to get into a position where you start to really hate what you once loved and where your business is just not fun anymore. The other thing, so this is like kind of a visual of a non-scalable coaching business model. If you so much of their business is the red, right? One-on-one coaching. And some people may have tried to launch a group coaching program, or maybe even tried to launch a digital product, but it kind of flopped. And so they just rely heavily on one-on-one. But again, the time limits of that is crazy. And then you just continue to hit a plateau and a ceiling over and over again. It's also extremely dangerous for you to create a business that solely relies on yourself. And, I have spoken to so many coaches that during the pandemic, they had health scares, or they caught coronavirus and they couldn't sit down and coach their clients for weeks or several months. And some of them, their coaching businesses survived those weeks or several months that they were unable to show up for their clients. But some of them did not. So, what happens, God forbid, if you need to take a couple of weeks off, or if you're unable to work for a month? it's an extremely dangerous position to be in. And it kind of looks like this, right? It's kind of like you're trying to build this like huge empire on like this one little stick that is you, where you constantly have to trade your time. And one or two pieces of that empire kind of shift, or things out of your control, the market changes, a pandemic hits like we all experience, and that whole thing can come down. Wealth, like I said, is having time to do what you want with who you want, where you want, and productizing the transformations you provide for your one-on-one clients and selling it at, let's say, the same as you would for 1 hour of your coaching, let's say $250, like I said in this example, is completely different, because this is something that, again, you create once and you can sell over and over and over again, but it can be sold while you sleep. You could be at the park with your kids and just get that notification that someone, bought your ebook, bought your membership, bought your course, whatever. And then they get value, they get this complete experience. And also, maybe in the future, they get access to you or to some type of exclusive training or whatever. But the thing is that you can be out enjoying your life and still make money. So I want to urge you to kind of shift your business model to a more scalable coaching business model, like the one you see here, which is, you see mostly the green, right? Mostly the green is a scalable digital product. It could be the same one, or it could be different ones. It could be updated ones every quarter or whatever. Then you may see a sliver of group coaching, which you don't necessarily need, right? You could even replace that black with the green, but you could offer a sliver of group coaching. And then at the top, you charge more, because, you don't want to base a business on trading your time for money. So you charge more for the one-on-one trading your time for money type of coaching. So I urge you to really, really begin to shift your business model to something like this. And this is one of the things that we help coaches do at Growth Academy. Because the reality is that most coaches are just self-employed. You don't have a real business. You don't have real freedom, which is probably the reason why you started your business in the first place, until you put certain systems that are scalable in place that can give you that freedom to walk away from your business for, at least 2 weeks or at least 1 month, and it doesn't burn to the ground, metaphorically. It doesn't, you don't go out of business. Uh, and it still continue to make money and grow without you actually having to be present 24/7. And so many, I speak to a lot of coaches, and the reality is that most of them, I would say 90% of them, their business would not survive more than 2 weeks if they could not show up for their business for more than 2 weeks. And again, that's a very dangerous position to be in, especially if you are the breadwinner for your family, if you have people that, depend on you. And so I really, really urge you, if you're a coach, because we are in 2021 and digital is just becoming more and more and more and more important, to really think bigger. Really think about creating a business that maybe you could exit from one day, that maybe you could leave to your children, that doesn't just solely depend on you, and that could provide you with just a little bit more freedom, even, or a lot more freedom for you to, regain your time back, to spend more time, not just on self-care, but also with the people that you love, doing more of the things that you love and learning, right? Because as a coach, you should be investing time into learning. How can you continue to increase your skills, right? How can you continue to strategize and make a difference in the future if there's no white space on your calendar? If you're constantly in a state of being reactive instead of proactive. So if you are a coach that feels burnt out with one-on-one clients, and you want to scale your business with the digital products so that you can regain your time back, I highly urge you to go to GrowthAcademy.Global, www.GrowthAcademy.Global right now to apply. We will see your application, and if we see that you're a fit, if we see that you're really someone that we could help and serve, we will be reaching out to you. And the transformations that others have received, it's just it's amazing to see clients be able to spend more time with their kids without having to stress about money. It's amazing to see people make more money without having to like work themselves to uh death, right? Like, but work themselves to the bone 18 hours a day in front of the computer. And it's great. Like, I'm a proponent of hard work, but like over extended periods of time. Like, if you're not working towards the right things in your business, then it's like the Jenga, right? It's like the image of the Jenga. You're trying to build an empire on a very shaky foundation. And I highly urge you to rethink that. So all of you who watch this live, I I thank you for your time. God bless you, and I will see you again next.